once again, friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Blackwell76, and I am focusing now on Demon Hunters. If you've been paying attention to my YouTube channel, Alpha, I came around, I was focusing more on Warlocks, but I have switched back to my original plan of wanting to be a Demon Hunter for both my raid teams when it comes to Legion. The reason for that being that it has nothing to do with Warlocks. In fact, again, if I were to recommend that you're going to play a range class, if that's what you want to play, I recommend Warlocks. They're incredibly fun, specifically the Demon Hunter and the Affliction Warlocks. I never have liked Destruction Warlocks because it seems to be, to me, easy mode. But I've never mained a Warlock either, so I don't know as far as what other people prefer. I do know that right now in live, Demon Hunters are basically, Destruction Warlocks are basically the only spec that you can possibly be to compete. Unless you're really, really good at Affliction, and Demonology is bollocks. But the main reason I chose to be Demon Hunter is because it's unfamiliar territory to many, and I'd like to be somebody that is knowledgeable with this class from the very beginning as it goes on, learning as I go, not relying on other people's guides and all those things, to trying to figure this stuff out myself for once in World of Warcraft instead of reading about cookie cutter builds and all that stuff and what you must have for talent and how you must do your rotation. I want to learn these things on my own. I want to become a theory crafter, and I guess that's the best way to start is from scratch without any other knowledge base concerned. So that's why I chose the Demon Hunter. But if you're looking at Demon Hunter, specifically the Havoc Demon Hunter, which is what I have been focusing on, right now I can tell you that the state of the Demon Hunter is pretty much. I can tell you that they're not in a good spot. And unfortunately, right now, they're not in a good spot. And the main problem with Demon Hunters that most people are saying, and I do recommend you read the beta forums about the class you're choosing to play, so you can see what's going on, watch videos. The Havoc Hunter beta forum is pretty much stating the following: two things wrong with Demon Hunters right now. Number one, they have no self-heal, no initial self-heal, so they don't have monks expel harm, they don't have a paladin's word of glory if they need to, or lay on hands, they don't have a Fury Warrior's bloodthirst, or whatever the heck, whatever the other DPS classes have in order to heal themselves. They don't have any of that. Their self-heal is basically a RNG mechanic that has a lot of major issues, and I'll try to show that with a targeting dummy here in a little bit. But the other major problem is they don't have access to all their talents at level 100. All the other classes do. Demon Hunters don't have access to all their talents until level 110, which I excuse by saying it's a heroic class. It's a hero class. They're not supposed to, but at the same time, the problem being that they don't compete with the other classes at all in their current state. So maybe that's something that gets fixed by Blizzard, who knows. But this is actually my second take of having to do this video, because I found out after spending an hour with the first take, my mic wasn't working. So bear with me, I'm going to do this in a different order, but I may sound kind of bored because I've already read this stuff all the way through once through. But I'm going to start by looking at talents, because they tend to replace abilities in your spells, so it doesn't make any sense to say, well, this is a spell, but now it's a talent. So right now, here's me at level 102, 103. I've 11 hours of gameplay in. Most of that was spent yesterday afternoon. And this week I'll have more time to spend. My goal is to find out how fast it'll take me to get to 110, but it'll be an overestimate because I have been taking the time to read the quest, because when Legion comes out, 7.0 comes out, when Legion comes out, I'm going to spend all my time questing as fast as I can. I have 2 raid teams to prepare for, so I'll be leveling 2 Demon Hunters, therefore I'm going to go as fast as possible. So, your talents. This is part of the problem with Demon Hunters, and I should warn you that a lot of the talents are meh. I will explain from my point of view as a PvEer why I think they're a problem. As a PvPer, you can probably figure it out on your own as you follow through. So, your level 99 tier, you have Fel Mastery, increases the critical strike chance of Fel Rush by 100% and grants 25 Fury when Fell Rush damages at least one target. Fell Rush being this spell right here. As you can see, it takes you across the entire, good 20 feet, I'd assume. I don't know what the actual range is, but um, it's not something that I want to use on a regular basis. I see there's a problem with the rotation that we'll go into later on, but Fell Rush is not something that I want to use as part of my rotation because it's basically having me guess range and position it. There is a cancel animation mechanic, but I have not been able to get that to work just yet. So I don't know if they've taken it out or not. If they have, then Fell Rush being a part of the rotation just seems stupid. Demonic Appetite, Chaos Strike has a chance to spawn a lesser soul fragment, and consuming any soul fragments grants 30 Fury. This also had a healing portion to it too, I believe, but they took that out. So, like I said, Demon Hunters really don't have a whole lot of healing available to them right now. And I will show you what those soul fragments look like and just why they're not the greatest thing. But at the same time, this might be the only option I have for talent at this level. Blind Fury increases duration of I-Beam by 50%. Now, I did choose this for quite some time because it seems to me that I-Beam is going to be a major part of your rotation, like a Fist of Fury for Monk. I do play a mythic rating Monk in live right now, so I do know that Fist of Fury is a major part of the mechanic. Whether it's single target or not, you're going to use it, especially when you have at least eight stacks of Tiger's Brew. You're going to want to use it off cooldown and try to time it with the ring and, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So Blind Fury being available for an extra, what is it, an extra, I guess it doesn't really say, extra, 5 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever it is, seems to be, it's more damage. It does do quite a bit of damage, so this might be, your choices right now may be Demonic Appetite and Blind Fury. At the level 100 tier, you have Prepared, reduces the cooldown of Vengeful Retreat by 10 seconds, and generates 75 Fury over 6 seconds if you damage at least one enemy with Vengeful Retreat. Again, like I said, there's a problem with the rotation that I don't necessarily. I see what the problem with the rotation is. I'll get to it when we get there, but making something called Vengeful Retreat a part of your offensive rotation doesn't seem plausible to me, but it is right now. We'll get into that. It's because of another talent later on that I don't see. They need to rework it. They need to rework talents altogether, but we'll get to that. Demon Blades. Demon Blades replaces Demon's Bite, which is one of your. It's like a filler spell. It was like Jab for monks. It makes Demon Blades passive, or Demon's Bite passive. Your auto attack has a chance to deal additional shadow damage and generate Fury. Basically, now I can mindlessly just generate Fury by just sitting there and watching my guy attack. If you choose this right away at level 100, I'm going to tell you that you're going to have only 2 spells to keep an eye on whenever you're targeting something, and that can be incredibly boring. Basically, you're auto-attacking to build up Fury, and then you're expending Fury whenever you have a Chaos Strike available if I-Beam is off cooldown. And again, that's probably worse than the Arcane Mage rotation of 1112, 1112, 1112, 3. Literally, you're just going 2, 2, 2 if you get a critical strike, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. It's really, really boring. It's not. I think they should replace this with something else, but they also, I can see a point in having it. I have no problem. I'm probably doing just as good DPS with it, so I don't have any kind of recount or any way of testing that. I don't know. Until I got to level 102, though, I did use Fell Eruption, which impales the target for 100 chaos damage and stuns them. Impales the target for 100 chaos damage. Impales the target for chaos damage. I'm going to guess that's wrong. And stuns them for 2 seconds. Inflicts an additional 100% damage against targets permanently immune to stun. Well, great, 200 damage. Woo! I should test and see how much damage it actually does. But if it's 100 chaos damage, there's no point in taking that spell ever. So at 102, this is where I chose to take Demon Blades, and because now I have Fell Blade, which is just charge to your target and deal fire damage. Demon's Bite has a chance to reset the cooldown of your Fell Blade, so as you're auto-attacking, this can get reset. It's another Fury generator, so you can get Fury a little bit faster as you go along. First Blood reduces the Fury cost of Blade Dance by 20 and increases its damage to a bigger amount against the first target struck. Well, I don't use Blade Dance all that much. Basically, Blade Dance is an automatic 100% dodge, and you're AoE targeting or AoE damaging. I don't. I guess it might have a point against the boss. I don't know. I haven't really tested much with it. Like I said, I really don't save up the Fury for Blade Dance. It seems more important that I use it on Chaos Strike, uh, which is when your main damage spell. Um, and then you have Demon Reborn. All your cooldowns are reset when you invoke Metamorphosis. Well, great. Metamorphosis is a 5-minute cooldown, so uh, if you can't wait the 45 seconds during, or if you can't, if you just you're going to end up just learning how to make sure you have I beam available at least one time during your metamorphosis. It's just the way it is. There's no point in there's no point in oh my gosh, I just reset a 45-second cooldown after 5 minutes. That makes no point. There's no point to that. Your level 104 tier, Nether Walk, slip into the Nether, increases movement speed by 100% and becoming immune to damage, but unable to attack last 5 seconds. This replaces Blur. Blur is your defensive cooldown. It's a 1-minute cooldown, and you can damage while using it. So as a PvEer, I see no point whatsoever to ever use Nether Walk as a thing. It'd be like your Zen Meditation, which I've used once as a DPS, and that was to trigger empowered runes against Cormrock on Mythic Hellfire Citadel. Why I would ever want to use this beyond anything like that is just stupid. Desperate Instincts replaces Blur again. You automatically trigger Blur when you fall below 35% health. This effect can occur every 30 seconds. Why would I want to trigger my defensive cooldown when I need healing instead of triggering it to prevent the need to get healed, the need to be healed? So again, I don't see myself ever taking this whatsoever. I'd rather have Blur when I need it. I can press my I can press my key and have it available. So Desperate Instincts is probably not something I'm going to take either. Soul Rending, give you 100% leech while Metamorphosis is active. From what I've read in PvP, Demon Hunters are the worst class available because they don't have any kind of self-healing, and basically the only time they're going to survive anything is when they have Metamorphosis available because of Soul Rending, which, like I said, every 5 minutes you'll survive a fight, but otherwise you're just running away. So in PvP, that's what you're probably going to take. In PvE, that's probably what I'm going to take. You could probably use Desperate Instincts in PvP too. I don't know, but I probably assume most people are going to take Soul Rending because Metamorphosis is basically the only time you're going to survive anyways. Momentum, Fell Rush, and Vengeful Retreat increase your damage done by 20% for 4 seconds. Now this is what makes Vengeful Retreat and Fell Rush part of your rotation. But as I said, I don't like the fact that Vengeful Retreat is a part of the rotation, mostly because as a raider, like say for instance in Zul'Harak, you're going to have instances where there's poo on the ground and you can't just go flying backwards all willy-nilly. If you're in Zul'Harak and you use Vengeful Retreat and then Fell Rush forward, you may collect a Fell Fire debuff and then collect a Void Fire debuff, and then you end up exploding half the raid, which you don't want to do. So you do have to be environmentally aware when it comes to mythic raids, but at the same time you shouldn't have to be so environmentally aware that you can't use a major part of your rotation that makes you just kind of pointless. You're just standing there auto attacking, and I am hoping Blizzard fixed that. It maybe makes it so that this spell here, Fellblade, is a part of the regular. It's not a talent. It's a part of your spells. It's part of the things you get, so that you actually have something to do, and momentum becomes a part of that. So that you're using that off cooldown or whenever it gets a chance to, whenever the cooldown is reset by your auto attacks or demon blades or demon's bite. Bloodlet. Throw-Glaive causes targets to bleed for a percentage of the damage inflicted over 10%. If this effect is reapplied, any remaining damage will be added to the new Bloodlet. Your Throw-Glaive right now, I have it bound right here to my C key, is like a ranged pull, ranged target attack, like Hammer of Wrath, but you can use it whenever. You don't have to. It's not an execute mechanic. Which, by the way, also demon hunters do not have an execute mechanic. So maybe they need to fix that too. But that's remain to be seen. The monks don't have one really. Actually, yes, they do. They have touch of death. So who knows what's going to happen with that? But they do need to fix the rotation. They do need to fix the talents, as I was saying. But try to keep from getting distracted with that. But throw glaive, as it is, I'd probably take this talent because I can just now make throw glaive a part of my talent, my rotation, and now I have more things to do. Nemesis. Increases damage you inflict against the target by 50% for 1 minute. When the target is slain, you will inflict 50% additional damage against all creature types matching the original target for the remaining duration. It's an AoE situational thing. You're probably not going to use it during a boss, so Bloodlet seems to be the best choice in the level 106 tier. 108's tier, Master of the Glaive. Throw Glaive now has 2 charges and snares all enemies hit by 50% for 6 seconds. It's a good chance that you can, symmetry with Bloodlet. Unleash Power reduces the Fury cost of Chaos Nova and reduces the cooldown by 30%. 33%. Your Chaos Nova is going to be more of a situational AoE thing. It's just it's a stun. It's an AoE stun. So I don't. That'll be situational. And then you have Chaos Cleave, which is probably what you're going to take at this tier anyways. Chaos Strike hits an additional target. This gives you a better chance of surviving 2 or 3 targets at least. But at least you have options at the 108 tier. And then 110 Chaos Blears, or 110 Chaos Blears Blades increases all damage done by 24% based on mastery, so a percentage based on mastery for 12 seconds. While active, your auto attack deals 200% increased damage and causes chaos damage. This is on a 2-minute cooldown. There is a perk in your chaos weapon that will make this easier to sync up with Metamorphosis, so you have 2 offensive cooldowns going on at once. I see this being something that probably is taken. Fell Barrage at your command, unleash Fell Energy, inflicting inflicting chaos damage to your target and nearby enemies for each charge. Max 5 charges. Your damage attacks have a chance to generate a charge. I have to experiment with this. I honestly don't know if I would use it. It's a channeled attack. It's going to be a AoE situation, I assume. So I don't know. I can't say anything on this right now. And then you have Demonic, where I-Beam causes you to enter demon form for 5 seconds after it finishes dealing damage. This is also probably another good talent to have because that demonic form is an increase in damage, as you'll see in Metamorphosis. So there's your talents. Right now, they need a lot of work. I'm going to tell you that right now that there hasn't been a single person that's particularly happy with the way that the talents are working right now with Demon Hunters. So hopefully that gets fixed by the time 7.0 comes out, or at least by the time Legion drops. But right now, talents a little underwhelming, and the fact that you don't have access to them until 110, all of them until 110, leaves something to be desired. Your spells, you're going to have Blade Dance, which strikes all nearby enemies for physical damage and increases your chance to dodge by 100% for 1 second. So basically, while you're using it, you're 100% dodge. You're not going to get hit by anything. You're not going to sit and spam Blade Dance. It costs Fury for 1, and it's on a roughly 10-second cooldown. So I honestly have only used this in AoE situations. The 1 second dodge probably isn't all that worth it. You do have Blur, like I said, which this is your defensive cooldown, increases your chance to dodge by a percentage and reduces all damage taken by another percentage for 10 seconds. It's probably going to be 50 and 35. It could be different when 7.0 drops. In tough fight situations against elites or bosses, you're probably going to use this whenever you can, in order to avoid damage, obviously. Chaos Nova is an AoE stun. Unleash an eruption of Fell Energy, stunning all nearby enemies for 5 seconds and dealing chaos damage. Chaos Strike, this is your main, probably damaging spell. You slice your target for chaos damage. Critical Strikes do not consume Fury. This leads me to believe that Critical Strike is probably going to be your top stat, if not your second most important stat. Consume maggot, and consume magic is your interrupt. Darkness is like a weak smoke bomb, summons darkness around you in an 8-yard radius, cloaking friendly targets and reducing the chance they are hit by spells and melee attacks by 20% and lasts 8 seconds. This is not obviously going to make anybody invisible, but it works kind of like smoke bomb does. I would assume. Um, I beam blasts all enemies directly in front of you for chaos damage. As a monk, I am looking at this as a major part of your rotation. You're going to want to build up fury whenever it's off cooldown so that you can use it right away. It does do a good amount of damage. Fell rush is your charge. Rush forward, incinerating anything in your path for chaos damage. Um, Part of the rotation right now. I don't agree with that. Fell blade. This is chances you charge your target. This is the talent from before. Charge your target and deal damage. Fury of the Illidari is part of the artifact. It throws the Twin Blades of the Deceiver in a whirlwind of energy, causing 88,000 or causing chaos damage over 3 seconds to all nearby enemies. I'm sorry, sometimes I have a tendency to read how much the damage is, but we all know that scales as you level up, so I try not to do that. But again, Fury of the Illidari throws the Twin Blades of the Deceiver in a whirlwind of energy, causing chaos damage over 3 seconds to all nearby enemies. Basically, it's an AoE. Looks a lot like this. Glide. This is your part of your triple your jump thing. This is a triple jump, so I'm Batman, and which I do like because it's kind of fun to fly around. Yay! I've been able to. I think I went through half of High Mountain basically gliding once at one point in time. It's pretty cool. I like it. Imprison. This is your demon control mechanic. Of course, I get disconnected. It happens. It's beta. I'll launch right into that. It won't take long to get to that point, but we're at spells. This is where we're at. So, Imprison is your demon CC. Imprison is a demon for 1 minute. Damage will cancel the effect. Limit 1. Metamorphosis is your major offensive cooldown, as it is. Leap into the air and land with explosive force, dealing 18,000. Dealing chaos damage to enemies within 8 yards and stunning them for 3 seconds. Upon landing, you are transformed into a hellish demon for 30 seconds, greatly empowering your chaos strike and blade dance abilities. Blade dance I don't use. Chaos strike is important, so I do tend to spam that as much as I can. Spectral sight. Yay! I can see demons from a distance, hiding behind objects. There you go. There's one there. Can't really see anything on the other side at the moment right now or below us. I know there are demons below, but there's your spectral sight. Throw glaive is your range targeting ability. Throw a demonic glaive at the target, dealing physical damage. The glaive can ricochet to 2 additional enemies within 10 yards, probably like your... in fact, I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to make that a major part of my rotation and try to use that whenever I can. Probably like your Avenger Shield. Vengeful Retreats, like I said, I have a problem with this being a part of the offensive rotation when it's called Vengeful Retreat, but viciously assault nearby enemies and vault away. Assaulted enemies take physical damage and have their movement speed reduced by 70% for 3 seconds. If you take the momentum talent, this is going to also increase your damage. I really hope they change that. Demon Blades is your passive talent. Demonic Appetite was a talent. Passive double jump, of course, it's that. Your mastery is Demonic Presence. Increase your critical chaos damage by a percentage and your movement speed by a percentage. I'm gonna guess mastery is probably one of the top 3. If I were to put my guess right now on stat priority, it'd probably be crit, and then haste and mastery somewhere in there. Shattered Souls is a passive, killing an enemy sometimes creates a soul fragment that is consumed when you approach it, healing you for 25% of your maximum health and generating 30 fury. If the soul fragment came from a demon, you will deal 20% increased damage for 15 seconds. So basically, the only heal you have is with a talent or when you kill something, but not when you're actually fighting something. So right now, like I said, no self-heal for demon hunters. That's a major problem. They're probably one of the only melee classes, if not the only class period that doesn't have a sort of healing mechanic that they can use. So not in a good spot as far as many demon hunters are concerned. So the rotation. Well, let's assume that this is an actual boss, and we'll start with my Metamorphosis, and I'll launch into what I think is kind of a rotation, but I would assume it's going to be you get to the target, you cancel that. You get to the target, you Fell Blade, and then you Chaos Strike. Every time you get a critical strike, you can Chaos Strike again. Try to build up Fury for Eye Beam. Use that whenever you can. Probably use Throw Glaive up cooldown, especially if you have Bloodlet. Um, and then you have Vengeful Retreat and then Fell Rush to gain momentum when you have those things. I really hate that. I really do. I really wish that Fell Blade was the thing that gave you momentum right now. In fact, and when I'm done with this video, I am going to make that a suggestion, because Vengeful Retreat and then Fell Rushing in is not dangerous, but as far as raid mechanics are concerned, it can be the difference between you living and dying or wiping an entire raid, and I just don't see that being a thing that should be. You have to be so guarded against that you can't even use it. Major party rotation should be a major party rotation, no matter what. You should have to be able to use it unless you're moving. As a ranged target person, you usually have something that you can cast while you're moving. So I don't like. Bottom line is, I don't like Vengeful Retreat. I don't like having to use Vengeful Retreat and Fell Rush, but I do have them in my hotbars for now. So once again, because I'm not going to be able to say it while I'm doing this, because my brain obviously can't focus on saying words right now. I can't imagine saying words while pressing buttons. But I'm going to Metamorphosis into the target, and then I'm going to Fell Blade, Chaos Strike whenever I can, Eye Beam whenever I can, and then I'll probably hit my Throw Glaive on it as well. So here's what we have to look at. And so now I'm auto-attacking in order to build Fury. As you see, those critical strikes are important because they reset Fury and allow me to Chaos Strike a lot more, and Chaos Strike obviously does a bit of damage, and you want to have that damage. And so now my Metamorphosis has ended. I'm basically just waiting for things to come out cooldown and using them when I can. Now there's a Soul Fragment. So this is from Demonic Appetite. As you can see, I'm fighting the boss here, the target here. I now have to run here to get that and come back, which really, 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 really stinks right now. And that's a major part of the Demonic Appetite problem. So that's something that they need to fix. If it's a heal mechanic, I mean, even if it's a heal, imagine having to run 10 yards away from the target, away from what you're doing. It's a DPS loss. It's basically what it ends up being. So that's the major problem when it comes to Demon Hunters, and as far as their Soul Fragments, Chi Ball of Energy, whatever the heck you want to call it, mechanic. But you do have your. By the way, this is the Demon Hunter class hall. This is what it looks like after you've unlocked it. I'll do a little tour of it after I get through the artifact weapon, but you have your Twin Blades of Deceiver. This is what they look like. I haven't unlocked any other appearances yet. Your major abilities are Inner Demons. Chaos Strike has a chance to unleash your Inner Demon, causing you to crash into your target and deal chaos damage to all nearby enemies. This is the first thing I'm choosing to unlock, as it is, as you can see right here. Anguish of the Deceiver. Each time Eye Beam deals damage to a target, it also applies Anguish. When Anguish expires, it deals chaos damage to your victim per application. I'm probably going to that second. And finally, third, Rage of the Eldari. When Fury of the Eldari ends, 100% of the damage dealt erupts in an explosion of fell energy, dividing that chaos damage among all nearby enemies. It's basically like your heroic melee DPS ring, or DPS ring in Warlords. Excuse me. So, and of course, Fury of the Eldari is the first spell you unlock when you unlock your when you unlock the potential of your Twin Blades of Deceiver, and that's the the AOE mechanic listed here. So, will you use that off cooldown? I guess I don't know for sure. I haven't been, and maybe I should be. Maybe that'll give us. I mean, it certainly will give you more options as far as a Demon Hunter is concerned, as far as being able to press buttons. Otherwise, you're just, like I said, pressing 2 a lot. you unlock your abilities by taking certain paths. I'll go through all the abilities that we can go through. So the first thing you're going to unlock, and you have no choices, Warglaze of Chaos increases damage dealt by Chaos Strike by 15%. Well, that's not such a big deal. That's a pretty good thing. Chaos Strike, as I said, is probably going to be the damage spell you use most often, and probably not your most damaging spell, but it is a spell that you're going to use all the time, especially when the critical strike damage resets the Fury on it. Then I went to Sharpen Glaives, increases damage dealt by Throw Glaive by 10%. So this gives me another momentum, another motive to keep Throw Glaive in my rotation. The more I think about it, and so as you can see, I'm learning as we go. From here, you have three options. I'll show you the route that I'll probably go, and then I'll go the reasons why I won't take the other route. Because I'm going here, I have Critical Chaos, which increases critical strike damage dealt by Chaos Strike by 3%. Well, again, that's going to be your most often used damage spell. So it seems like a good point. And you do have to rank up fully before you can go to the next one. So think of it like if you played vanilla up through, I would say, I can't remember if the talents were still in Cataclysm, but the old talent system that Blizzard had, it's going to be a lot like that. So you're going to have to fully spend a certain amount of points before you can get to the next tier. So critical chaos, increased critical strike damage, like I said, you're probably going to want to take that. Now from here I can go to Feast on the Souls, or I can go to Deceiver's Fury. I'm going to go to Deceiver's Fury. You generate 5 Fury each time you dodge an attacker's spell. I have no idea what my dodge chance is, so I have no idea if this is going to do me any good, but Fury is a good thing to have, so maybe it'll generate my Fury faster, and then of course I'll go to Inner Demons. Now the reason why I won't take Feast on the Souls is because when you consume a Soul Fragment, the remaining cooldown on I-Beam and Chaos Nova is reduced by 5 seconds. Now I-Beam, of course, is a great spell to have, but I'm not going to run 10 yards, 20 yards of direction to get a Soul Fragment in order to reset the cooldown on it, because at that point, the 5 seconds I spent running to it and getting back to the target is probably a bigger DPS loss than it is just to wait it out. And then you have, from here, you have overwhelming power. When Chaos Nova stuns a target, it has a 10% chance of there's Soul Fragment. Again, Soul Fragments right now are broken. I don't see a reason to ever have this right now. Balanced Blades increases damage dealt by Blade Dance by 10% for each target within 8 yards. I don't see myself using Blade Dance. Chaos Strike is much more important. Chaos Vision increased damage dealt by I-Beam by 5%. Well, yeah, I'm going to take that, of course, because, like I said, I look at I-Beam as a Fist of Fury sort of situation, where the more damage I can get out of it, the better. Anguish the Deceiver, and then you have your other routes. So if I'm going to go, what I would probably do to start my first three is to go from here. I've gone to Sharpen Glaives, I'll go Critical Chaos, then I'll go to Deceiver's Fury, and then I'll go to Inner Demons. Now then I have to get to here. I really want to have this, but I may have to forego it to go this route, because it seems to me like there's better options this way. Or I can just keep going this way, who knows. It's something I'll have to experiment with as we go, but Unleash Demons increases the cooldown. Actually, I will go this way, because it reduces the cooldown of Metamorphosis by 20 seconds, so when you have 3 ranks, that's a full minute off of your Metamorphosis. I really wish the cooldown wasn't 5 minutes, but you're going to use Metamorphosis as often as you can, and if you have that talent that I mentioned before, Chaos Blades, you can use that in conjunction with your Metamorphosis, or you have Demonic. It depends on what you choose. But I might try to use that Chaos Blades and Metamorphosis together. From there you have to go to Illidari Knowledge, reduces magic damage you take by 4%. Hooray! And then you can go to Rage of the Illidari. Contain Fury increases maximum Fury by 10. Yes, having more Fury is nice, but at the same time, the only time I'm pooling Fury is when I'm trying to save up for I-Beam, so I don't necessarily know if it's going to be all that important to have. And maybe I'll go this route and go back this route. But from there, I have Activating Blur, regenerates 2 charges of Fellow Rush. Well, no, I'm not going to take that. And it increases damage dealt by Demon Blades by a percentage. demon blades being my auto attack, a fury generator. Maybe we'll probably would take that. So that is your artifact weapon. You have your artifact relics. Right now I have a shadow artifact relic, which gives me a rank of critical chaos, which is the increase in damage, critical strike damage for chaos strike. And then I have a shadow artifact relic, which gives me the 5% increase in damage to eye beam. You unlock relics as you quest. They become quest rewards. You'll see how that works. It's just a right click, kind of like gemming your artifact weapon. Um, I'll get to this in a second, but first I wanted to show some other choices that you have. As far as the class hall is concerned, the order hall, you're going to have perks, and perks are unlocked by unlocking Lorimus Thalipides. Here is the way the perk system works. When you reach a certain level, you'll have access to perks. So your tier 1 perks, well prepared, increase the chance for quest rewards to get a rare or epic bonus upgrade from non-repeatable quests. That's the option I went. Enables the hunt ability, which increases the success chance of the first missions you send each day by 20%. Well, you're probably only going to spend out 3 missions per day if you're on all day. So you probably could take that. I chose the more loots option, so and the thing to notice is that research time, you don't unlock these once you unlock them. As you can see, your tier 2 perks take 4 hours to research, tier 3 7 days, 10 days, 12 days, and then it takes 14 days for your final perk to unlock. So these are things that are going to take place over time. Your tier 2 perks, Twisting Nether, grants you access to the portal to a portal to the Twisting Nether, summoning a mighty demon that you and your allies may defeat for fortifying bonuses and potential treasure. I'm probably going to mess with that to see what it's like. I don't know if this is going to be a sort of group situation, but more loot. That's the way I like it for a raider. Eventual Retreat enables eventual retreat ability for all missions, which increases success chance of missions with minions by 10%. So this is kind of like your traits from Warlords of Draenor now become perks in Legion. Trading Grounds increase the maximum number of Ashtung Warriors, Naga Myrmidon, Illidari Adepts, and transformed Illidari Adepts you can recruit by 1. I'll get into what that means in a little bit when we get to the recruitment table, or the mission table. But you can recruit troops that increase success chance, so that your followers aren't on their own. Fell Armaments allows you to place work orders for champion armaments or equipment in exchange for order hall resources, so item level upgrading your followers is still here. Naga Myrmidon, newly recruited Ashtung warriors become Naga Myrmidon, increasing their chance to mission extents by 50%. And then you have Demonic Power, newly recruited Illidari Adepts become transformed Illidari Adepts, which gain demon form, increasing success chance of missions with minions or hazards by 10%. Your tier 5 allow you to place work order for the powered Rift Core, used to unleash the wrath of your order to instantly complete a world quest on your map. I don't know if that means the minions, your followers map, or on your PC's map itself. I'll have to see what that looks like when it gets to that time. Or it might take focus war effort, allow you to place a work order. As a radar, I would take this, but I'm going to actually test the other one for beta because I don't see myself getting a lot of raiding in during beta. But focus war effort allows you to place a work order for 1 of your 3 seals of fate in exchange for order hall resources once a week. So this is like your level 3 dwarf workshop or warsmith or whatever it is for the horde side. And then finally your tier 6, your ultimate perk, increases the number of legendary items you can equip by 1. I don't know how many legendary items I can equip at the moment, but just to get an idea, we have Diablo in World of Warcraft. So you can see that here's our list of possible legendaries that I could use for my character. For having things that I might be looking for. I don't know how many I can carry. Does it say? Yeah, so I can only equip 1 as it is, so when I get to the ultimate perk I can have 2 of these. So, yeah. Just so you know, you have options now. I forget what's the loot thing that you used to have, but now you can see what your your tier pieces are going to look like. So that's your tier 19 or whatever it is. You have your. I'm assuming this is from a heroic dungeon sets that you're going to want to get. So that's what that looks like before you get into raiding. These are from your starting quests. Suggested contents, dungeons, that's your journal. So there you have perks. You have on this side, you have your forge. This is where you're going to actually unlock your abilities with your Twin Blades of Deceiver. I haven't quite figured out what's going on the other side here. You know, Jace Darkweaver here and a couple other people doing some things. It looks like I'm going to have a quest soon here with Vahu the Weathered. It has to do with this area. I don't know what's going to be unlocked there, but that is the quickest tour of the order hall I can give you, except for of course the followers table, and that's where you're going to have unlock all your missions. So right now I do have a mission running. It's got about 2 hours and 25 minutes left. You can see most of these take 4 or 5 hours, so you're going to spend time not getting things, not going back to your garrison, your order hall every hour to send minions out. And I haven't seen. There's no regenerating order resources that I've seen so far. You only get them through quests and finding things out in the field. Combat ally is a thing you can have. It's kind of like your bodyguard, but it's not with you all the time. You can assign a champion to assist you in the Broken Isles, and they'll do certain things depending on what follower you have there. Right now, at level 103, I only have 2 followers, and I'm going to guess as a demon hunter, there's a choice you're going to make when you're doing the intro quests. That choice is probably going to affect which followers you have. So the choice I made gives me Altreus the Sufferer and Asher Ravensong. Altreus is my one follower with a combat ally ability. When this champion is assigned as a combat ally, you receive the following ability. Death Dance. Altreus the Sufferer has a chance to appear and cast Blade Dance, dealing great damage to all nearby enemies, increasing your defense for a short duration. If they're out on missions, they can't be your combat ally. So I need another minion so that I can put them there, or maybe the other follower has a different combat ally ability that I want to use instead. I've yet to get to a point where I have any more champions, but you can see you only get 5. So I guess you're going to have to choose these things wisely. You're going to set them out missions. What the thing earlier with the Illidari warriors, or Illidari adepts and Naga Myrmidon, that's referring to troops. In Legion, now you're going to have the option to recruit troops. In this case, right now, I can recruit Ash Tongue warriors. I don't know when I unlock Illidari Adepts and Naga Myrmidon. Maybe that's a level 110 thing. I haven't figured that out yet.
Well, hello there.
These people don't have anything for me to do, so the only way I can recruit anything right now is through Battlelord Gardoon, and he has Ashtong Warriors for me, and right now I'm full up on them, as you can see here. Each one has a number of charges that they use, so they can go on 2 missions each to help improve your chances of your followers, your champions, with missions. So right now my active mission, it doesn't tell me. I have both of them, both my followers and the one of my Ashtong Warrior groups in a mission with those 2. So that's how that works. So that is it for right now as far as the Demon Hunter is concerned. And if I'm going to tell you anything, if I want you to take anything away from this, is to not be discouraged. This is beta. It's only beta. Calm down. It's just beta. Blizzard has at least a month, I'm assuming, to fix things before 7.0 drops and you get your early access to your Demon Hunter. How much they're going to get fixed, I don't know. Hopefully by then they will have their self-healing mechanic, or a better healing mechanic that allows them to a better survivability. But otherwise, if right now you feel disheartened, I don't blame you. I am going to stick with it because, like I said, I want to become a person that is knowledgeable with a class that is relatively untouched as far as the rest of the World of Warcraft is concerned. So check back with me, check back with my channel, or check back with my YouTube channel. I'll try to post videos, more and more videos as I learn. I'll also put up my Twitch channel here. It's located right here. I won't say it because I just want to invite any trolls to start their business. But Blackwell76 is my Twitch channel. Whenever I have time, work permitting, I will try to stream as I'm leveling up. It would be a slow process. Like I said, right now I am reading all the quests and finding out the story. I do recommend you do that if you're not in a hurry to level up when it comes to Legion launch. I chose to go to High Mountain first because you can choose where you go to. There's no set path for you to go to. I chose High Mountain first. High Mountain looks gorgeous. The story is actually relatively interesting. It's a pretty good story. So um, if you're going to level up fast, take the time to level up an alt and actually read the stories, an alt that you don't care about, because there's some pretty cool things that happen in High Mountain. Um, but otherwise, like I said, don't panic. Don't get discouraged. If you plan on playing a Demon Hunter, give them a chance. Give them a try. But wait a few weeks after 7.0 drops so that I can get my guy out of the starting zone. Just kidding. But yeah, check back with me. I will try to post videos as often as I can regarding Demon Hunters, including gameplay, dungeons. I will try to do a raid if I get a chance to see how those work. I unfortunately am a part of a very large guild in live Convert to Raid. Check it out at converttoraid.com. It's a very large guild with 9 co-guilds, and so like thousands upon thousands of members, all building raid teams as we go. That's how I managed to get on 2 raid teams, 2 very cool raid teams, Epic Eggplant and Threat Level Midnights. You can check them out on the Convert to Raid website as well. There's links to all the raid teams. So check back with me. Feel free to leave comments. I'll try to respond to you. If leave suggestions, I'll try to give those to Blizzard if I feel that they're good suggestions. Otherwise, onward and upward, friends. That's all I got for you. Don't be discouraged, and we will see you next time.